shit.
Welcome back to the Mantry Podcast. I'm your host, Reggie Milligan, co-founder at Mantry. This podcast is all about helping you cook better. Throw it on while you're commuting or cleaning. It's meant to be some short, digestible tips that next time you're in the kitchen, you can put into action. So let's get things kicked off. 5 tips to help you grill better is what we're talking about today, the good old grilling game. And we're just going to run down a couple quick, simple hints that are going to step up your grill game here. So let's start with a quote. Grilling takes the formality out of entertaining. Everyone wants to get involved. Bobby Flay. So number 1, wait for your grill to get hot. We always start with the simplest tips, but the most overlooked, and this one is crucial. Wait 5 minutes longer than you think. Even though you put your hand over the grill and it feels really hot, that doesn't necessarily mean the grill grate is hot. So you got to really, really wait and make sure that grate on top of the grill is smoking hot so you get a good caramelization, a good sear when you throw your meat or veg down. Number 2, another really crucial step, don't crowd the grill. Food that's crowded gets steamed instead of grilled. You know, if anything, just do multiple batches or stagger your cooking. Like if you have steak and corn and peppers to do your peppers, throw them up top or keep them warm in the oven. Do your corn, throw them up top or keep them warm in the oven, and then do your steak. Way better to do that than kind of pile everything on top of each other on the grill where everything steams, nothing really gets that great caramelization again, grill flavor, and you mess it all up. Number 3, move it and lose it. So this is very typical. A lot of times when you see people grilling, they're moving their meat around, they're squeezing on the, they're pushing down on the hamburger, they're tossing around the grill, flipping it over multiple times. It's actually better to just set it and forget it, to just throw it down, and especially if it's a piece of steak, pork chop, piece of a chicken breast, just let it cook, let it sit, let it develop that char. This is very, very true too for vegetables. To get a good char, just put it down, let it chill, let it hang out. Like, don't flip it. I know you have the urge to flip it over. Just let it sit there. You know, you should be turning food once is basically all you need, or twice, maybe, you know, if you're not totally confident that you're not burning the crap out of the bottom of it. But don't move it around too much. Number 4, very simple. Again, it will make your food taste way, way better, and it takes almost no effort. Drizzling is way, way, way less effective than just having a bowl with olive oil and salt. This is especially true for vegetables, like you talk about doing asparagus or you talk about doing grilled onions or whatever it has to be. Get a bowl, fill it with olive oil, salt, whatever other seasoning you want, and actually toss your veg, or, you know, if you're doing chicken wings, same thing. Toss it in there like you're tossing a salad. A lot of people, they do this thing where they put the finger over the end of the olive oil and they kind of drizzle it over, and then they season it from above like that. And like, I don't know where people pick that up. I think it's like cooking shows because they're trying to be more like showy to the camera. But in reality, you're just going to want to put like a little lake of olive oil in the bottom of a bowl, bold with the seasoning, because grilling can always take more salt than you think. And then just sort of throw your veg in there, toss it around, and use that. And that way the entire protein or item gets coated so that when you put it on the grill, it cooks evenly, it gets better caramelization again. So use that bowl with olive oil instead of drizzling. Number 5, and last but not least, consider cooking like a caveman. So cooking like a caveman is you can actually throw food directly on the coals. So this is only sort of if you're using hardwood, like oak or hickory, pecan, maple. You know, don't toss this directly on Kingsford like gasoline lit charcoal. That's just going to be gross and you might poison yourself. But, you know, when you have hardwood coals, you can do things like tuck a whole squash in there unpeeled and slow ember roast it. That's the trendy restaurant term for this. Slow ember roaster, or peppers work great. Onions with the skin on, corn with the skin on. You throw it directly on the coals. You can even do steaks directly on the coals. It's going to get a really good char, and you just kind of brush off the coals off of the meat, and it gives it this amazing smoky depth. And then with the veg, obviously, if you do something like squash or onions, you can just peel it after you're done developing that char. And the char works really, really well for, like, if you're doing a salsa. Like, if you throw jalapenos and tomato, red onion directly on the charcoal or directly on the coals, and you let that roast off, and then you kind of dust off the blackened bits and blend it all up to make a salsa, that's a knockout fire roasted salsa. And the other thing you can do too is like shellfish tails. Like, there's a good recipe here on the blog for ember grilled lobster tails, just putting the tails directly on the coals again. And that is going to impart, again, a really great smokiness. It's a cool trick. It's a good party trick. Gets people talking. And that is number 5. So that's 1 through 5. That's it, folks. Welcome to the Man Tree Podcast. We're going to be about 6 minutes, and you're going to get what you need, and you're going to get on with your day. So to run them through quick, number 1, wait for your grill to get hot. Remember, the grill grates take a little bit longer than the old hand test. Number 2, don't crowd that grill. Crowding leads to steaming. Give your food some space. Number 3, move it and lose it. Don't play with your food too much on the grill. Don't move it around too much. Just put it down, flip it once, and you're done. Have the confidence that you're not burning it at the bottom. Number 4, use a bowl with olive oil and salt and mix your veg in there or your meat. Don't necessarily drizzle. And 5, cook like a caveman. Consider putting certain veg, certain meats directly on hardwood coals if you have them. There's a couple good recipes that we connected to from the blog down below. Ember roasted sweet potatoes and that ember grilled lobster tail that I talked about. And that's it. That's the Man Tree Podcast for the day. We thank you for listening. We'll put the blog link in the show notes. If you like this, share it. We have zero marketing budget behind the podcast, but we're doing them every day and with the goal of helping you cook better. So get out there and get cooking. Thank you for listening.